Hey guys, welcome to my channel for another paint with me video. Today we are going to sketch a fun street view from one point perspective. When it comes to urban sketching, sketching in perspective is an integral part. You cannot make an urban sketch without adding a bit of perspective to the sketch. Let's understand the basics of one point perspective with the help of this grid. So come, let's have a look. On this grid, the horizontal line in the center is the horizon line. Horizon line is a special horizontal line that represents the eye level of the viewer. These lines that you see, which I have drawn right through the vanishing point, these lines are called perspective lines. Perspective lines meet at the vanishing point. A point on the horizon line where all the perspective lines meet. That's a vanishing point. One point perspective is a drawing method that shows you how things appear to get smaller as they get further away, converging towards a single vanishing point on the horizon line. Before we begin, let's have a look at the materials we'll need to make this sketch. Here I am using a 180 GSM watercolor sheet. Fine liner pens are best suited for this kind of pen and wash illustration. Today I'll be working with a 0.5 pigment fine liner pen. We'll be using round watercolor brushes. We'll be using watercolors, eraser and pencil for primary sketching. Details about all the materials used by me in this sketch are mentioned in the description below. Now that we have went through the basics of perspective and we have our supplies ready, let's begin the sketch. First, let's start by creating the perspective grid. Adding a horizon line on the paper. I'm not going to add this line at the exact center. Next, I'll add a single line roughly in the center of the horizon line. The point where the two lines meet will act as our vanishing point. Let's add a few perspective lines on the paper. We will add more perspective lines as and when we need. In the next step, using the perspective lines as guides, add the objects on the paper with reference to the image we are creating. Start from close to the vanishing point. We will use these perspective lines as guidelines for the height and placement of objects on the paper. Objects near the vanishing point will appear smaller in size. As we move further from the vanishing point, the objects will become large in size. Add new perspective lines on the paper wherever needed. To determine the position and the height of the windows, add a new perspective line for your reference. We'll complete the entire sketch in a similar way. Although I am using the pencil to roughly mark where the objects need to be placed, at this stage, if you are comfortable, you can directly use your pens. You can say that one point perspective is a drawing method that shows how things appear to get smaller as they get further away, converging towards a single vanishing point on the horizon line. Once the sketching is complete, we will now use the fine liner pens to outline the rough sketch and add details. At this stage, we'll add the details on the sketch, like decorating the electricity poles, adding planks on the fence and window planes, sketching grass and adding trees. Oh, and don't forget to add the electrical wire lines. Once the sketching is complete, let's erase the pencil guidelines. It will help in avoiding confusion as to which lines to refer. To add some shadows. Using a combination of hatching and cross-hatching technique, I'll add some shadows on the sketch with respect to the reference image. Now that our sketching is complete and the street view is really coming together, we will start adding some color. Let's start with the brown shades first. You can start in any order you like or feel comfortable with. I am adding shades of brown and black to the fences and to the areas we have crossed hatch to indicate that these are the shadows. Add some fresh greens to the sketch. Taking a fresh shade of green to paint the trees and the grass, and then adding darker tones of greens to indicate shadows. bit of white in between while painting the trees. The white space will act like highlights and it will really bring the trees to life. And finally, let's paint the sky a bright blue. I'm using a clean brush to add a little wash with clean water on the top plate. Now I'll start adding a little bit of blue at a time to the paper and spread it around. Here also we'll leave a little bit of white space in between, which will resemble clouds in the sky. Here is the final urban sketch. Isn't it looking amazing? If you recreate this, don't forget to share it with me. I would love to check out your sketches. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to like this video. Also subscribe to my channel for more tutorials on urban sketching. Also don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Facebook. My handle is mentioned in the description below.